And we are started right back up. Sorry about that,
All
James.
right. Oh, quite all right. It gave me a chance to sort of zoom out here, and I was like, that is not quite thick enough here. I think we need a beefier hilt for our crystal axe.
So W. Socrates says, since we asked about other ideas for iconic drawings for Earthdawn characters, for elves, do you want to do normal elf stuff or something a little off? I think kind of the idea is we'd probably eventually want to do both, because if we're doing all 15 disciplines from the core book, and then there's the 2 other disciplines from Mystic Paths, that would be 17. I think it would be difficult to be completely traditional with all of them. So I think we have some room to play around, probably.
I think so. All right. Color. All right. Color. How are we going to do this here? So, do we want, I don't know, how do we feel about spikes? I like them. All right.
I mean, how do I feel about spikes in general? Spikes are always good.
All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to swap this layer to a multiple. Oh, look at me. I've I just select you. Is that easy enough? Oh, it's not bad. All right, good. All right. So we are going to change this mode to multiply and then set it to, actually, we're going to change the color balance. We're going to make it kind of purpley. All right. Color. Here we go. Now, trolls, I mean, most of our Earthdawn races can have colored skin, basically equivalent to the human range of color, plus a few others. What color should our troll be?
That's a good question. So the listed color range in the player's guide ranges from olive to dark brown.
Okay.
It looks like you're diving in with a good color there.
I don't know. This is just the first
Oh,
one. This is just to block in the skin
oh,
color
where
here.
the
It can
skin
be,
is.
yeah. So we can, that's the beauty of working digitally, is once it's down, you can you can you can mess around with it. You can make it any color you want.
I kind of like the idea of going with a pretty dark skin tone, but obviously we want to keep it light enough so that you can see all your detailed line work in there.
That's all right. Well, we can make it work maybe a little lighter. That's a little that's too olivey. That's like green skin from Warhammer is what that is.
Yeah, it is always interesting to find like really old Shadowrun or Earthdawn art where the orcs and trolls like just are green skinned, and it's like, you said they could have olive skin. I don't think that's exactly what they meant.
All right, so we're gonna come up here, give him some highlights. I don't think we're gonna get very many highlights on his hands, but that's okay. All right, right on. How about his horns? I did one time I did a picture of a troll with had very very dark skin and had like ivory horns, which I thought was really really cool. But that's not quite where this guy is going. Make it a little more reddish.
Yeah, there's not really too much that describes what color ranges the horns are. You know, I've always sort of pictured them as bone-ish in color.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean,
But I guess
what?
if you look at rhinoceros horns, I suppose those are kind of close to their skin tone, kind of. I don't know.
I don't know. Any opinions? I kind of like the darker horns myself, but if anybody, actually, you know what? That's kind of growing on me. I don't mind this at all. But if anybody has any strong opinions, please make them known.
Yeah, feel free to chime off in those chats there. I do think those darker horns look cool.
No opinions? I haven't seen any opinions
No?
come through.
So follow your heart.
Darker
British Joel
horns.
says darker horns. Yeah.
Right. That was my first impression, so that might be what just we go with. I'll just make the underside a little darker. And we'll zoom in a little later and we'll get, unless he's blonde. Okay. He, do some highlights here. There we go. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of the next question, is what color should his hair be? I feel like as I was doing it, okay, here, next question. I mean, I realize that almost all Earthdawn art is done in black and white, but are there any colors associated with oh no, I erased it. Sky Thunder? What was it?
Thunder Sky
Thunder
Moot.
Sky. Thunder
And
Sky.
and then he would be from a clan, so we could basically make up a clan name for whatever clan he's from as part of
Right.
the Thunder Sky. But there's not really any colors directly associated with that. We sort of talked about this last year when we were looking at Carafod stuff, sort of looking at some real world culture for inspiration and things like that, based on like their clothing and things of that nature. So I'd be leaning towards darker hair just from
Okay.
the areas of the world that we're looking at, I think.
All right. Well, let's see. Ba-ba. I don't mind it. I might need to go a little lighter though. If we came up like up here. Well, now we're getting into kind of grayish, but that might be okay.
We could even go. We could go all the way up to red, I guess.
Like
But,
a red-haired troll. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I'm just throwing out ideas. He's not
No,
fair-skinned, but that's fine.
it's magic. It's fantasy.
Yeah, you can be different-y.
I might try darker. What if it's darker? Darker and red. I think I might stick with the grayish color though
All
here,
right,
and
grayish is great.
we'll put in some, got some braids here, and we'll shape it with like the darker colors. So
Love it.
maybe he's just starting to go gray. He's not actually gray yet, but he's getting like little patches here and there.
Hey man, it's rough living in the Twilight Peaks. Go gray early.
Oh yeah, we'll give him like 3. There we go. Very stylish, sort of Keanu Reeves, like 3 patches here.
Oh, Keanu Reeves, like, I like that.
All right. Next, actually, we'll give him some highlights first, because we sort of said that the light was sort of coming from the top here. Right. All right. What's next? We sort of said that his armor was going to be like a patchwork situation here. So if so we're going to want probably lots of different, or I don't know, lots of different colors, but certainly variations.
Right.
So if we sort of had, so we'll make, I mean, we'll make this sort of little shape, this shape, and then maybe a bottom piece will be sort of metally, and then be dark.
Yeah, so we're envisioning that he's like assembled this armor over his career pre-gaining his discipline, or maybe in his first little career as his discipline, fighting people and getting hunks of armor.
I think so.
From wee folk. Yeah, I was kind of trying to put together like a little idea for like who this character could be. So I was thinking like since trolls reach the age of majority like in their early teens, like at the latest, they actually in their 11th year they undergo the rite of passage into adulthood, it says. So I was thinking that maybe during their 11th year could be when the Theron Behemoth the Triumph returned to Barsave. So like ever since he has been an adult, the Therons have like been here and he's been involved in raiding them and basically fighting this impossible war that basically nobody thought Barsave would ever win. And then, just a few years ago, the Therons actually were chased out of Barsave as they won the Second Theron War. And now he's like, well, I've bested everybody out here. I guess I got to go adventuring.
That's the next natural step.
Yeah. Because one of the things that always seemed challenging to me was if you're a Sky Raider and your whole thing is that you're honor bound to your clan and your moot, and the most important thing to you is that you got to be one with your tribe. It's like why are you out here getting money, getting them ducats?
Them fat loots, yes, as it
Yeah.
were.
But I mean, I guess as long as you can establish that the moot is healthy and you need to go be strong somewhere, I suppose it works out.
I think so. Or reunions at the very least.
Yeah, you left us.
Where you been?
Because there is actually a whole path for the outcast troll. So like if you have stepped against your honor, especially your clan honor or your racial honor, you can be forced out of your tribe, and your horns can be forced to be shorn, or you can choose to do it yourself. And then you become this outcast troll who is this different thing.
All right, that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know that I want that for our guy.
Right.
But
That's a different thing, but it's an interesting thing that it is existent. And then I always thought it was kind of cool that in the setting, broken horns are symbolic of like dishonor. And then
okay,
I always thought it was fun as a writer to play with the idea that like your horns would break in battle.
they might,
So
sure.
if your horns got broken in battle, like would people assume that you're dishonored? I would assume so. Could you use that to symbolically represent that this person is less honorable? Should that be accurate? You know, stuff like that.
Well, I like that a lot.
Thank you. I feel like it's a fun theme to like play with.
It's well, by contrast, you could also like maybe you could again just subverting expectations and have a quite honorable troll who nobody thinks is honorable because he lost his horns in ostensibly honorable combat, and he's a really good dude who
Right.
just who's who's had a really rough go because his horns got lopped off,
Yeah,
or maybe
you could even build a whole thing around like he says he lost his horns in honorable combat, and everyone else is like, yeah, that's what he says. But we're pretty sure he was cast out of the Highlands, and then like you could subvert it later with everyone's just bad mouthing him because people like to trash talk, or then it could be true depending on what sort of story you want to tell.
Mm.
The British Troll says smoothly cut horns could be seen as dishonorable, while broken raggedy suggests it was honorable combat. That could be true. That could be true. Earthdawn Josh says that he likes that. I always imagined broken raggedy horns would be very frustrating because to me it just seems like an immense broken nail, like fingernail.
Oh, if you're getting like caught on stuff.
Yeah,
You
like
tra-
my fingernail gets caught on everything as soon as it has the tiniest broken bit.
Sure. Oh yeah, it's really frustrating too. Like yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I hear what you're saying. It'd be hard to stay motivated to keep everything jaggedy for me. I mean, maybe if I had a troll's honor, it would be
It's like, I
easier.
guess
But
I gotta keep it for the honor. All my sweaters are gonna get all of these little knits in them.
but they wear all that wool, all that sheep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Maybe we can sand it down a little, but don't sand it down all the way.
All right, what else can we do here? Where are we going next? I don't know, whatever this thing is that's happening on his belt, I guess, if we're just sort of moving down. I don't know.
So
I
yeah,
draw
what are you thinking that giant thing is on his belt? What do we want that to be?
I I don't know. I guess it's kind of arm almost everything, and I never really know. It just looks.
So what if we say, because we shared like a sigil earlier of the Thunder Sky Moot and about how that was like a kind of a banner that they would maybe put on their ships.
Yeah.
What if this thing is like a something that's sort of tying together the pieces of his armor in addition to that, and it could have sort of the Thunder Sky Moot sigil on it, and maybe even something like tying back to his own clan that like we add on to it.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So we had. Oh, this is going to be detailed. All right.
I mean, if
Um,
it might be too much for we only have 40 minutes left. If you want to pass on that, that's fine.
I think It might. You know what? Let's come back to it again. This is going to be a detail. It's going to be a detail that we can come back to. So
British Joel says it's a big pouch for his loots.
there we go. I had actually sort of. he just tucks it into his belt. I had sort of put like a pouch type structure.
Yeah.
Like here, and we'll. Oh, why am I not? Oh, is that like the same color? Huh? Doesn't look like the same color. There we go. And there we go. He's got a satchel or some such thing.
Mm-hmm. Immerse.
Well, there you go. Make it just a little fancy. Right. Troll purse. Yes, excellent.
Yeah, a traverse. My bad.
All right. So we've got this sort of blue theme going on. Do we want something else? What do you use like? I don't know. For some reason he's got blue braids. I don't know why.
I mean, thunder sky. So maybe like I see you're going with some orange, maybe.
Yeah, just a little
Yeah.
contrasty color pop there. So we gave him
Windling with some hair dye.
nice. All right, so we'll give him. He's got sort of grayish white fur all over the place here. We should also. I also really need to think about that. I really need to think about that crystal axe. That's a good. I thought the blue one's kind of fun. Oh, I like that one too. That one's fun with the spiky back.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we're going for it. What color should it be? What if it were like a lighter blue, almost like not green? I guess we still want sky blue if we're thunder sky.
You could go like a teal.
Down there. I don't know. I don't think I quite feel almost. But
What if like it's like dark towards where I don't know if it would be darker or lighter towards where like the crystals are growing on the haft, because it's like less mature there because that's where it's growing, and then where the blade is, it's like a slightly different color.
okay, that could be fun. Let's see what we can do with that. So
I'm not sure which side of it would be darker and which side of it would be brighter. I guess it would probably be darker towards the blade and lighter towards the growing part.
Sure. Yeah. I think it would look.
It might look better the other way.
I
You
think I
go
would.
for it.
Yeah, I think I would have an easier time because that's sort of the for me at any rate. That feels more like the conventional
Yeah.
axe situation where it's slightly uh, darker in the middle, and then where it angles, it catches the light differently, and it looks a little. All right. So I feel like. What do I feel like? I feel like I need a slightly lower contrast color. Try to create these facets.
Yeah, I like that in the drawings of the like crystal weapons. It's very like big flat facets.
Yeah. So does that mean that we would get into smaller facets the closer we reach the end, maybe, or we get to the edge of the...
So the one art piece here kind of does a cheat where it looks like there's maybe some metal plates in like the middle of it. I don't know if you like that or not, but that is one option.
It could be nice. Well, you know what? I don't mind the idea of there being something to hold the crystal in place. So it's like I guess I really like the idea of making it feel like the crystal grew like around the hilt.
Like there was a lattice in here, kind
Yeah.
of a thing.
But
Hmm.
if they had sort of a metal piece that's like attached to the hilt, you just can't see it because it's under the thing. That could be cool.
And then you don't have to figure out the whole structure
Yeah.
of this thing as a gemstone.
Magic.
Imagination.
That's it. Through the power of imagination. Just gonna sort of keep on being like all spiky and cool through there, and then probably need some sort of... All right. Then gotta get all these little angles and things in here.
Love it. And then that also sort of implies that it's growing outward in like every direction, and it's just the blade there. He's specifically been honing because that's the important part. I
Excellent.
like it.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. All right. So I think it actually... Oh, all right. I think it might actually need a little bit of a shadow, or we might actually put even just a little bit of a glow on some of his features over here, like it's...
Like some light is going through the axe, kind of a thing.
Yeah, slightly luminescent.
I like it.
All right. So now, what is the shaft of the axe made of?
Well, probably not metal, because that would be an awful lot of metal. Could be all the way up to stone, but that would probably be pretty heavy. But he is a strong boy.
He is.
Because if it's not that, then we'd probably just be going with like wood.
Right, is it just like a big branch on... There you go, ironwood
Ironwood,
tree.
yeah.
There we go. All right. Do we have a canonical color for ironwood, or is it's just wood colored? It's just also iron.
So desert ironwood is a real thing.
Very dark.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very dark is good.
Again, trying to keep that fable lesson in mind, that even though we're drawing the straight shaft of a giant axe, there isn't a straight line to be seen.
Yeah, that's neat. And it makes sense. Like even if it was made by hand, so it's not going to be perfectly straight even then. And then it's been used so much that it's going to have a lot of wear on it. Ooh, that shine on his arm is cool.
All right, moving right along. I feel like we could put maybe a little. We do a little metal on this side. We don't have a ton of metal on this side, so maybe alternate. What if there was a? Actually, I suppose we could make it even a different color. Make it more like a bronzy. Is that bronze? I don't know.
Sure.
Say it's magic bronze. Keep quiet. Okay, so is there any other sort of character sheet type stuff we can establish for our friend here? We know he is from the Thunder Sky Moot, and that we're
Mhm.
gonna make okay, well there we go, make up a clan for him. He doesn't have a clan yet.
This
Poor
is
fella.
true. So as far as I know, there are no clans specifically listed for the Thunder Sky Moot, so we can kind of just make stuff up. Usually the clans and the moots are kind of just like two words put together. Actually, I got this whole thing on troll naming that I could read out, and we could start thinking about naming in general for this guy. You want me to do that?
Yes, yes,
All
let's do
right.
that.
So trolls have 3 names. They have 2 personal names, and then they have a third name that identifies their clan. A troll's first name is like a human or dwarf's given name and is more or less uniquely associated with the individual. Often, though not always, it has some meaning that it derives from its original language. The second name is often descriptive, such as Longfang, or symbolic, as in Dawn over the mountain. The derivation of the second name varies from clan to clan. You sometimes, like a whole family, could have the same second name, but not necessarily. And then the third name, to trolls, the most important, yet also the least used, identifies an individual's clan. Most trolls know each other's clan affiliations and so do not need to speak of their clan names, though clan names often find their way into boasts because trolls often boast with one another as a game. When dealing with other races, a troll will often omit his clan identifier, either to avoid confusing the other person or because he feels that those of other races do not deserve the honor of knowing the clan except under special circumstances. When one troll identifies himself fully to another, he speaks his clan name first, saying, I am Granite Bone Landfar Gold Tusk, if he deigns to mention his clan to a member of a different race. He will speak the clan name last, saying, I am Landfar Gold Tusk of clan Granite Bone. And then it talks about the major troll moots. So we have a bunch of sample names that it gives us, and then we kind of need like a title, I guess, basically is what the second name is, and then we would need to come up with a clan.
All right.
So where do you want to start?
I don't know. I kind of like the long tooth, like the title. Like what's the descriptive one?
What's his title? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea that his title maybe should come from specifically the drawing that we're doing today, maybe.
Ah,
Like, do you think that there's anything particularly like eye-catching about his drawing here, or should we come up with something from his history that should be
I
part of
don't
his
know.
title?
Blue braids. I don't know.
Blueberries. Like the Bluebeard.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, I could go with like azure or cobalt instead of blue. That makes it sound deep.
Excellent. All right. Cerulean.
Cerulean.
Anybody else? Any chat? I'm open to all ideas.
Yeah, looking for a good second name for this guy. I will post what it says about second names in here. Strong belly, says K. Scott. That sounds very like Warhammer Ogres. Barrel gut. Crack jaw.
Ooh, fun.
That is a fun one. Give you a crack across your jaw. Straight horn.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's too on the nose here, but we have I don't know, they look sort of like ram horns or like that sort of classic Texas horn.
Longhorn.
Maybe it could be a longhorn.
Yeah, it could be a longhorn.
Well, so far my favorite is crackjaw.
Crackjaw. We could do crackjaw. As for the clan, I'm very much open to suggestions, but a fun idea I had for the clan was way back in the day, someone else from FASA, Todd, who's working primarily on Aetherstream now, he ran a series of he ran a series of Earthdawn adventures at Gen Con that I played in, where you were members of Clan Skyreaver, and you were beaten down by the Therans, and you had to like bring the clan back up to success. And it was never really established what moot that was part of or anything like that. So I thought Clan Skyreaver could be a fun nod to Todd. But I'm open to any other ideas as well.
Skyreaver works for me, unless Jack can come up with something amazing.
I like Skyreaver, says Joel. So he's going to be something Crackjaw of Clan Skyreaver. And there's a lot of example names. I kind of like the idea of just taking one of the sample names or something very similar to them, since like this is the iconic, but obviously we can do whatever we like. So I am going to paste the list of sample names from the old Name Givers book. We've got things like Bormac and Lorm. One I liked in here was Oscar with an E. Stark with 2 R's. Stark.
Yeah, you gotta hold that R for a little bit. Stark.
Stark. Well, he's got that big those big tusks, you know.
Yeah, that's
Do you have any preference here, James? You think it should be short, long?
I don't know. I think if I were to do this, I would try to pair the 2 days. So like pair how it flows with Crackjaw. Because if there's a bunch that ends with K, Bormac Crackjaw doesn't roll off the tongue. So I think it needs to be like a
Sure.
softer sound on the end, like an L or an R or an M.
Okay.
Oscar Crackjaw.
Oscar Crackjaw. Yeah, we could do
Or
Oscar Crackjaw. Yeah.
what else is
Or
there? Just looking.
Lorm Crackjaw. Ganlor Crackjaw.
Lorm. I kind
Lorm.
of like Lorm Crackjaw. Or you can make it rhyme. Jorcaw Crackjaw.
If you say it too fast, it sounds like it might be inappropriate. Dogle. Crackjaw.
Yeah, the soft L there. I like that.
Could go off the reservation, do like Laurel Crackjaw.
Toss to start. Rogath Crackjaw. I don't know. I think my favorite might be Lorm of all of them.
Lorm?
Unless we could put it to a vote, but I'm kind of feeling Lorm.
If we put it to a vote, what would be the other option?
Oscar, I think works.
All right, so here's
Dogle.
what
Yeah,
here's
three-way vote.
three-way vote. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a comment in the main room chat between Dogle, Lorm, and Oscar, and I'm going to make a. You can respond to it with 3 different emojis, and then we'll close the poll at the end of the stream. Does that sound good?
Yes. What time are we? Oh yeah, we only got 20
20
minutes.
minutes
Yes,
left.
that should be good.
Apparently, Lorm was a historical. There was a
Oh, all right.
there was a guy. So I guess we're between Dogle and Oscar then.
All right. Dogle and Oscar.
Writing up the comment now.
I wish I had a third hour.
All right, comment posted. People can place their bets by clicking on that there. Yeah, the colors are really popping. He's really coming to life here. I like it.
That's good. You know what? It's a thing I'm looking at. Yeah, I wish I had a third. Well, actually a fourth, if I really wanted to do our friend here justice. This is many more hours of work. It may have been ambitious to do. If you get in, you
Yeah.
can see all of the messiness, which it would probably be just as much time again. If we can put some details into his face. All right, so step 1, we're just going to get rid of some of the brush strokes. Actually, you know what might even be better?
Joel wants you to be sure that you are aware that your art is incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Have you gotten good at taking compliments yet? Oh, thank you was a pretty decent one.
That's about as gracious as it gets. It's like, oh yeah, thanks. That's
I mean, that's good. There is a surprising level of detail here once we've zoomed in.
I mean, I mean, the trick, and I don't know, in my opinion, the trick to working fast is you have to look from far away, because if I had an instructor who used to call it being seduced by detail. If you get in too close, then you're gonna get sucked into painting every little pore and every little crack on his face. Oh, maybe we should give him like a split lip or something. That could be fun. Then
Ooh.
he could be crack jaw.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole, I guess we're also doing axe glow. I just guess it should also be on his tusk and on his cheekbone and probably under his brow.
Talk about detail.
And then he's got like another sort of braid in here, maybe a few stray hairs are catching the light.
What if the so since we're talking about putting a scar on his face, what if it
Oh
like
yeah.
what if it looks like he got like socked real good in the face and like one of his tusks like was responsible for the scar. So like his upper lip maybe has a little bit of a
Uh,
cut on it, and then his lower lip has like an even bigger like crack.
fun. It's sort of covered by his beard, but maybe we could put something like sort of in this sort of
Yeah. You could even have
vicinity.
a little part of his beard that like doesn't grow in if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. What happens if we go?
'Cause I've been playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 again recently, and the amount of effort they put into Arthur Morgan's beard always astounds me because he's got parts where it just doesn't grow in.
Excellent.
And I'm like, that's yeah, that's how my beard grows. Not well.
That's how I got my troll name, Patches.
Patches. I would be the worst troll.
All right. This is making me a little happier defining some of these
I like
shapes.
I like how big his schnoz is too.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan of great big noses. It it was, well, I found it was something that I really wanted to make sure I kept going from um Jeff's amazing Earthdawn work, not big noses specifically, but really distinctive faces. Like there's
Okay.
no like the faces are just intensely stylized, and they just look awesome. So I never want an uninteresting face. There shouldn't be
It,
anybody. Tell the artists when they're starting to work. It's like I can't. I'm gonna reject anything that looks like it could have come out of like Getty Images or something. If you send me a drawing of a character and it looks like it could have been a stock photo from Getty Images, it's gonna be like, nope, nope, that won't do.
Don't trace over someone from a random TV
Ex-
show. Give me a weird
oh yeah,
face.
it's yeah. And the more like and generally speaking, the more weird, the better.
It also kind of ties into what you're saying about like Hearthstone and Blizzard art, right? They always have very distinctive faces.
They do very very stylized. They have 100%. They have a look. And I also like, well, just from the perspective of from my train of thought derailed at the station there. Um, what were we talking about? We were talking about
So,
faces.
and tracing images from
Yeah,
shows and distinctive schnozzes.
right. No, I lost it. I'm sorry. It'll
It's
come.
gone.
I'm
Choo
sure it'll come
choo.
back. I'm sure it was gold. That's how you knew it was a really good one too, right?
Yeah,
Is that it?
because it'll never be back. I like that just by adding those little lines over his nose there, instead of him just standing with regal bearing, he's now standing with disdain.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's another thing. Love expressive faces. Never want anybody just standing there. Oh, I remember. It came back to me. I was talking about faces. One of the things that I liked about about Blizzard, but also about specifically the Warcraft movie, for all the problems that it had, what I thought it did really really well was making it look as though these faces are from different races. I've seen a lot of orcish, orc in particular, I guess you could say it for elves or other fantasy races, but orcs in particular that just look like humans with pronounced
Pointy ears.
canines.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
and and I like the idea that these people are actually from different races, so exaggerating the proportions so that they look like they could actually be members of different species is
Yeah,
important to me as I as I go through this.
yeah, totally. Even though there's some complexity with the magic cycle and the different races, I agree that they should look very different.
It's one of the things I tend to do for um, dwarves is I tend to put their eyes very very far apart, and I have this head canon thing, and it's not Earthdawn specific, but anytime I have this head canon thing where there are like two types of dwarves that have sort of evolved, and so you can either have dwarves with like these great big brows and like teeny tiny eyes, or dwarves that have, you know, slight, I mean, still big brows, but slightly smaller brows, but great big eyes. And the idea being that one of them came from a family or a clan or a subspecies or whatever it is that you want to call it, that like spends all day like in the smithy. So teeny tiny eyes helps like protect you from like the soot and ashes and smoke and everything.
Hmm.
And like maybe they all have like big bushy eyebrows because it's like a filtering system that uh in the forge, or maybe even in the mining, because you can have like fumes and stuff in a mine.
Hmm. Hmm.
um and then the other ones with the big eyes, they weren't they weren't the smiths or stuff, but they were still underground, and they had these great big eyes because it helped them like see underground
See in the dark, I
in the
love it.
dark.
I like it. Good deep headcanon lore that you got to get those big eyes so that you can see in those dark tunnels.
Yeah, or the teeny eyes so that you can
Or
spend all day in the smith.
yeah, that's evolution, baby. I like that dappling you're doing there, just like you said earlier, where the horns meet the skin. Interesting.
Exactly.
Hmm.
They are part of the same creature here. There
Hmm.
needs to be a like a transition. I mean, I'm spending a ton of time on his face that I shouldn't, but this is making me happy, so that's what I'm sticking with for the moment.
Hey man, you got to have a good time too. I think everyone who's watching is also having a good time anyway. So, and as a reminder to anyone who hasn't yet voted, the vote is pretty close, but Oscar is currently winning. So if you don't like Oscar, cast your vote now.
Oh, I might put one on Oscar. If I were voting, I would probably vote for Oscar. I like
Ooh,
Oscar.
trying to put your thumb on the scale, huh?
That's it. How which way would this sort of rotate? No, I think we'll do it like that. You tell I'm getting lazy when you just outline everything in black. That's how you make almost anything look good. It's just outline it in black.
Give it a good stark outline.
Well, ultimately, it comes from a rule that defined shapes read better than than undefined shapes. Like sometimes you can sort of get away with it and say it's kind of, you know, it's the point of the piece is that it's supposed to be foggy or amorphous, but in general, well-defined shapes are such a foundational piece of well, any visual medium really.
Mhm.
Um, but that's sort of what that's why the cheat works, is because you are literally you are defining the shapes with very thick black lines, so the shapes become easier to read, and
Gotcha.
everything starts to look a little better.
I've also heard that making designs where you can tell what it is from the outline is always very, very strong.
100%. I think we covered this briefly last year with Crassus Gron, where
Yes.
I sort of talked about the big shapes. You got to resolve your big shapes before you get into your small shapes, because no amount of small shapes on top of bad big
Mhm.
shapes are really going to help you. So actually, we could probably do a little experiment here. Oh, his face looks so good from far away.
It does.
I wish I had time to do the whole thing like that. Anyway, but if we were to take our dude here, and we could probably do it with an adjustment layer. If I just went like this and made him entirely black, or almost entirely black, and then bring this up, and then bring this down, and then bring this up. There we go. So basically, I mean, there's little bits in there, but ultimately
Mhm.
it's one shape. This is our silhouette, right?
Yep.
And I don't know, for me, people can in chat can disagree, but for me, if I were to look at this and be asked what Earthdawn character is that, you could probably come up with a troll.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is he a Sky Raider? Well, don't know. It's kind of hard to. It's a little hard to tell. He could also
Mhm.
be. I don't know. I mean,
Like a warrior.
yeah. But
He's got spiked shoulders. That's important.
yeah, but 100%, 100%, he unmistakably he's a troll, and he has a giant two-handed axe.
Yep.
Um, so the fact that can be gleaned, um, even from just a single shape, means that you've done okay, kid. So to speak.
Well, excellent.
So I got 3 minutes. What can we do in 3 minutes? You know what? I'll keep on outlining the head so that I can post. I can post sort of a close up of the head and feel reasonably proud of it, like feel reasonably finished.
You can put his headshots up later.
There you go. Yes.
Because you do have 3 minutes left, and then after this is the Earthdawn talk. So I'm sure if you wrapped up a little bit early, that would be okay too. But
I was going to
think you want to
say,
use up your time.
you don't have to use the whole 3 minutes. You're good. I like the piece, though.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun to do. So where did we land? Did we land on Oscar? Are we?
Let me double check. Let's see. Yes, Oscar wins.
All right.
Osker.
Oscar
Oscar
Crackjaw
Crackjaw.
of Clan Skyreaver.
Love it.
Excellent. All right. Well, I will stop drawing here any second.
I've never known you to stop drawing.
That's true. All right. Well, there he is. Not bad for 2 hours of work.
I love it.
All right. You know what I'll do? I will copy and I will post it in the chat.
And I'm also very excited for tomorrow at the same time. We're going to do Tiskrang Swordmaster, which I think is going to be like the opposite design philosophy. Like it will be the same with big shapes to small shapes, but instead of unadorned, simple, brutalistic, it's going to be the fanciest thing in the world, probably.
Indeed. There we go. And there he is. There's the man. All right.
Love it.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming out and spending the couple of hours with us. And I will click back into the main room voice so I can disconnect myself from everything. Have a
Okay.
wonderful rest of your day, and I'll be back in an hour or so for a showdown with Andy.
I'm
Ooh,
bringing out
gear
the
up.
big guns. All right. Goodbye. I'm stopping the stream in 3, 2, 1.